You know, I would love it if these guys would just move on from Supergirl. Is there something else we can talk about legitimately? It's like this movie is just mid. It's not breaking any records. It's not doing anything incredible, but it's the only thing they can talk about. And some of them haven't even seen it. So here we are with Nerdrotic, Chris Gore, and X-Ray Girl once again talking about Supergirl. And from what I could tell for the first couple of minutes that I watched, talking about the promotional cycle for Supergirl. We're still talking about that. The movie is out. I don't know why we need to continue to talk about what was going on in the red carpet spots, the earned media spots. Like, what difference does that make, really, when the issues with the movie have to do with the movie itself? I'll tell you what it is. It's because it's a woman. It's a woman talking and doing things that they do not approve of. They want to make fun of her. And therefore, it doesn't matter if the movie was a perfectly fine movie. It doesn't matter if the movie was going to make $1 billion. Still, her and the things that she said on the red carpet, the things she said in interviews, the things she said in earned media, all of these things triggered all of these men. And so here we are. Let's hear what they have to say.
You have to get one of these.
I do.
This is the
Flesh
like
cup.
right. And I gotta share screen.
I love showing it from the back. I mean, that's the only way they ever show it, is like, here, look at it from the back. And actually, it looks less problematic here in his hand than it does in pictures. And I know they're going to show a photo of some joke about the way the cup looks, but it's the internet. You want to lean into the jokes, right? You want to lean into the humor. Well, I guess not.
They said this is funny. You have to see this to believe it. It says Supergirl fans can't get enough of AMC's exclusive collectible cup. Look at
A one-hander. Okay.
Look at the smile of joy it brought on that young man's face.
I don't even know what this is. Is this a real ad? I have no idea. I'm not even going to bother looking it up. But even if it were real and they were leaning into the humor, this is what you guys want them to do, to not take these things too seriously. But then when they do that, there's something wrong with that too. It's a no-win scenario for anybody doing something that these guys don't like. If you laugh about it, if you lean into the meme, that's a problem. I can't believe a company is doing that. Can't believe they would stoop to these levels. And then if they push back against it, it's like, oh, I can't believe they're pushing back against it. They should just laugh at it like the rest of us. But again, these guys their standards don't exist.
As he's holding his cup. Gary, I was at the movie theater on Monday and they had plenty of those. Plenty. I'm waiting for them to drop the price.
Did they have plenty of seats too?
Yeah, they did. Well, you saw that
Yes.
I posted that. I mean, it's a Monday. We went and saw the mystery movie at AMC. We're walking and here they're destroying it. Not like, hey, would anyone want this or for auction? No, they disassembled it, took the S away and ripped apart everything else, including Supergirl. And we're placing it unceremoniously in the trash. I tried to it's a bad shot, but I was trying to not cover her face, and then it looks like back rooms when it's done.
Yeah.
Oh, shocker. When the movie is not promoting prior to its release and they're setting up these standees and these things in the lobby, once that cycle has ended and they take is this what we're doing now? We're going into theaters and we're watching for them taking down promotional materials. We know that we have Spider-Man coming up. We know that we have the Minions movie. We've got Moana coming around the corner. There is very little real estate in a lot of these theaters to keep these promotional items up. But yeah, let's go around and take pictures of them breaking down the promotional stuff for Supergirl that was probably up well before the movie came out. Let's go around and take pictures of that because flop watching never ends.
Like when the liminal space looked like a promo for Backrooms, which I guess they're doing some new extended edition.
They are.
Theaters.
They are not a bad move, really.
Yeah, I'll go see it for sure. But the collapse of Supergirl is amazing. The cope is.
Is it though? Like, this is the thing that keeps shocking me. I thought you guys said it was going to fail. Why does any of this shock you? Why are you so excited about this? If you predicted this and you knew it was coming, why is it so shocking that it's happening? Something doesn't make sense. Something doesn't add up. If you guys truly believed all the stuff you were feeding your viewers, like you knew it, you predicted it, you saw the future. If you believed all of this, then none of this should be surprising to you. We shouldn't need like 20, 30, 40 videos talking about this stuff when you guys already knew. Fam, they already knew it, right? They knew. They knew from the beginning the movie was going to underperform and it wasn't going to do well. They've been talking about it for months. So why is it shocking? Why is any of this such a big surprise for your clique?
Like I haven't seen before. And I don't think you can say, like, look, Millie Alcock may have been naive, said dumb things, but she hasn't gotten political. That's like on her end. She hasn't, there's no free Palestines coming out of her mouth.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, but that's what you wanted. That's what you wanted. You guys kept trying. It wasn't for lack of trying. She does an interview talking about how she was objectified with House of the Dragon and how growing up in the industry as a young woman, she's learned that you can't really do much about it, so you just kind of roll with it. You guys crashed out over that. Even though there was no lies in that statement, nothing she was saying was untrue, because then you went on to prove her right by objectifying her at every turn. So she said something that was true. You guys still jumped on top of it. And then all of her little funny earned media moments, red carpet moments, things like that, just random times where they would ask her questions and she would answer with grace, or she would be nice and kind to people. Like when they talked about her being a queer icon and she sort of was, nice about it in response to that reporter asking that question. You guys tried to crash out from that too. Other than that, she hasn't really said anything. She hasn't said anything at all. But here you are coming up with this standard of like, oh, free Palestine. Like you're creating this narrative that this is what she didn't do, but you would have loved for her to do this. If she would have said something pro Palestine, pro Israel, something like, you guys would have ate it up. It would have been perfect for you. But she didn't do it. She didn't play into whatever game that you wanted her to play in. But she still suffered the same fate of the other women that you have gone after, which is quite interesting.
Okay, that type of political.
She hasn't gone full Zegler, but I feel like she may have been, out of her depth for this kind of a big movie.
We say she went full Rachel Zegler as a joke.
Oh, so it's all a joke. I see. All of the harassment this woman has experienced from you guys. The memes of her looking like a caveman, the memes of her in sexy outfits showing her ass twerking, the memes of her with drool dripping out of her mouth. All of those things that you were doing to her, it was just a joke. That's it. So it wasn't that she actually did anything wrong. Like you weren't socially pushing back against wokeness. You weren't pushing back against an ideology. You weren't trying to unveil some new secret mystery from Hollywood here with her, as you guys typically say. You just bullied her. It was just a joke. It was just for fun. These guys, like Nerdrotic here, is admitting that he bullied her, they harassed her as a joke. So there was no actual real motivation behind it that comes from a place of genuine concern about the quality of movies. Because they would have you believe that they're doing all of this for better movies. But if making fun of her was just a joke, then what are we doing? How is that helping movies? Is that going to make movies better? Is turning her into a caveman or turning her into another man in movies and making her look more masculine and plastering that all over the internet for months, is that going to make movies better? Is that what we're doing? Or is it all just a joke? Is it just for harassment? According to Gary, it's a joke.
Right.
She didn't have to have a producer fly out to her apartment in New York and tell her to shut up. But she didn't help things. And we were trying to,
So what did she do wrong? I've mentioned the only thing she said on the red carpet that you guys talked about. There's only two things. When she talked about objectification, which she was proven right by you guys who were just making jokes, I guess, and the comments about her being happy that the queer community can look up to a character, right? Those are the only two things she did. So how did she make it worse? I would love for you to explain that.
Quantify it on Real BBC and even FNT. Like, did it really harm the film? Because I think the film was cooked anyway before she said a word. But I think it did.
Okay, so then it didn't matter. Cooked means the movie was done for. It was done. That's what cooked means. So you can't go, the movie was cooked, but also but also these things that she said that we were making fun of her for, those also affected the movie, right? So if the movie is already done and the things she's saying are speaking to a already niche audience, as you guys have said in the past, then there's nothing she could have said to make it worse because the movie was already done. But please enlighten me.
A little bit. Mm-hmm. I think an argument can be made. How much? Don't know. Doesn't matter at this point.
But it does matter because you guys facilitated hate against her. Like you guys were going off on her for months. So it does matter. Did her actual statements that you guys fucking doggy styled for months, you hit it from the back for months, right? Do those things actually matter? Because if you tell me they don't, then that's just you guys being assholes and attacking a woman for no reason whatsoever. Let's be clear here. If Millie Alcock's comments were not a part of the problem that the movie was going to suffer at the box office, and you can't prove it, which you said here, he literally said, we don't know, meaning they can't prove it. If you cannot prove it, that means you could have never proved it before because you know it's a metric that cannot be measured. It can't be judged. And here you're saying that now it doesn't matter that you spent months attacking her and talking shit about her because you can't prove that it had anything to do with the failure of the movie. That's pretty fucked up.
Going to perform less than the Marvels. It's getting beaten by Morbius.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And it's people are still trying to, like, what's funny is there's still a bunch of gaslighting going on X, like, oh, you guys just hate it. It was because of women. Blah, 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 blah.
No, these are two different arguments. And this is the part that I need you idiots out there to understand. If they don't like the movie or people don't like the movie and they're going, we went and saw the movie and we didn't like it, it was bad. There's no problem with that. There's literally no issue with that. I've never had a problem with that. The issue I have is that we're still doing this thing where we're talking shit about her and what she was doing when she was talking about the movie prior to the movie coming out. And we're still trashing her for it, even though these fucking knuckleheads have said that they cannot use that information to prove anything because they don't know. These are two different issues. They're not connected together. And they want to connect it all together into one thing, but it's not. It's not one thing.
And then in a couple of days, that will be silent. Pattern recognition again. So I'll ask you this. They always accuse, they being the Access Media and corporations, accuse us of review bombing.
By the way, Access Media is not being kind to this movie either. So I don't really know what you're talking about, but continue.
Bot farming. It's like, well, who has the financial incentive to actually use bots to gas up a movie and make it look like it's more popular than it is? Well, that would be the studio. And how could they do that? Well, they use a third-party marketing company and don't ask any questions and let that third-party marketing company do what the hell they want. And that,
I mean, anyone can put together a grassroots movement against something. If you're talking about like bot farming to make things look good, then they would just do something like Angel Studios, where they're putting tickets out for people to buy ahead of time. So it makes it look like all of these tickets sold for these movies, basically astroturfing positivity, but they don't do that. There's been no course correction or anything like that from the studio about this film. Like, we know the movie's not performing well. So I don't even know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
that's exactly what happens.
Yes. Did you get my DM about the company?
Yes, I did.
Okay. You have to go through that. You can use that something in there for a future video. They just talk about it openly. Like, yeah, we use it. It's an arm of the marketing. It's an arm of the marketing.
Okay, whatever it is you are talking about right now, whatever this conspiracy theory thing is that you're talking about, you can either provide proof of it or you can stop saying it. If you have actual proof that the studio, Warner Brothers or DC or whatever, if you have proof that they're doing something underhanded, that would be a bombshell thing you could talk about. And I would be very interested in hearing that. But if you're just going to talk conspiracy theory or some bozo that's got a company that's out there offering to boost up things because of you spend X amount of dollars and we boost something up for you, that is Internet 101. We know those things exist. You can do it here on YouTube. You can buy likes, you can buy follows, you can do all kinds of things. So if that's what you're talking about, then that's something that may not have anything to do with Warner Brothers or DC. But if you have proof that directly links that to DC and Warner Brothers, and they were somehow using that tool, which, by the way, if they were, it was a total failure because Supergirl is still not doing well. But if that's what they were doing, then provide proof of it. I would love to see proof of that. Otherwise, you're just doing conspiracy theory, right-wing bullshit.
Yeah.
No,
So the studio has plausible deniability. I mean, they know they're doing it, but you can't really pin it on the studio. It's just.
Then you don't have proof either. I don't work on vibes and conspiracy theories. That shit is weak. It's weak as fuck. If you don't have proof that the studio or James Gunn or Millie Alcock, whoever the fuck you're accusing of doing it, if you don't have direct proof that they're doing it, then stop insinuating they are. That is scumbag shit. It's really weak shit that you guys have to go to that level with your narrative, considering the movie is already not doing well. So what the fuck is this?
It's like rendition, except you're only torturing the audience.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, chat. I'm Papa Incel now. I put it in my Twitter bio. I'm very proud of that. Yeah.
Oh my God. I had people come after me for that Supergirl post, and I didn't make a judgment. I just said this happened.
Yeah.
And this is, so I was stating.
Oh, so the rage baiting worked, right? like the rage bait. You're on Twitter. You use Papa Incel. You make Chris Gore make some negative comment about Supergirl, and you're rage baiting because you're blue check marks and you want people to interact with you, which is why I stepped away from Twitter. Look, y'all can stay on Twitter if you want. I'm not really doing anything on Twitter anymore. I'm not going to help line these guys' pockets with money with rage baiting stuff. Like, I'm not going to do it. And I actually think Twitter is it's lost so much relevance already that the people that are hanging out there now are just kind of there because they're there. It's like an old chair in your house. I had to get up from the old chair and get the fuck out. I still have my account as a placeholder, but if you're going to be someone on Twitter rage baiting and stuff like that, and you have people responding to it, it's just fucking crazy that you're complaining that people were coming after you. Like, that's what you wanted. That's why you made the comment.
Facts. And I had some jackass academia cunt say, so you didn't fact check. And like,
right, hold on. Let me read this first. And did you do research and ask it if it was typical or you just a typical incel? And then Chris goes, I'm not sure what reporting this fact has to do with your conclusion. I don't even know what he's responding to, honestly, which is crazy. Show what he was responding to. I'm not sure what this fact has to do with your conclusion. Standees for the Mandalorian and Grogu were up weeks. It's about the Supergirl, the standees coming down. I find most people who make these accusations are projecting good luck. You have no academic training. Got it. It's fucking Twitter. It's like, you're going to crash out because some guy on Twitter, how many followers does this guy even have? Let me look this up. The guy has like 821 followers. Why are you arguing with somebody with like almost no social impact on Twitter? Why are you doing that? Holy fuck. Are you this fucking soft? Are you soft serve ice cream or something? Who gives a fuck what this guy says? Holy shit. Let's watch him crash out.
Like, it's like the arrogance of these motherfuckers with degrees that want to throw that in your face like you're not a degree. If someone's going around saying I'm a doctor, I have a degree, your degree is fucking worthless. Give me my coffee or my.
Okay, so in other words, you're saying I was speaking facts, and because I'm speaking facts, how dare this person say anything to me? But then someone has a literal degree, and you're like, just hand me the coffee. So you're also denying facts. Okay.
McDonald's, you fucking unemployable idiot. I'm done with those people. I dealt with them when I was in college. I am a college dropout. I got 2.5 years in and said, why am I working 3 jobs, have no life, and paying for school to read books, to
Right. So what you should be doing here is you should be advocating for what other countries have, where people go to school and they don't go bankrupt to go to school. They get their education and then they can contribute to the economy in a big way by being a very educated, employable individual. That's the argument you should be making. But instead you resent the people who did spend the money to go to school. Okay.
Prove to the professor I read a book by taking a test. I can buy books and read books on my own. I dropped out of college. Years later, I wrote a book about how to get your film into film festivals, how to get distribution.
And now you're here on YouTube running a channel where you talk about how much you hate movies and how much you hate women and how gay people should get their own Sparkle Disney channel. And, you know, hanging out with a bunch of people that just talk negatively about black people and brown people and Asian people. And like, this is what you do. This is your platform now. So you dropped out because you didn't understand the purpose of going to school isn't to read books. It's to learn how to do the things that you're going to school for. And sometimes that requires you to read things. Okay.
Which is required reading at film school if you're going for an indie film studies degree. So
awesome.
F college, F these.
So you're using so let me get this right. Your gotcha is my book that I wrote is now being used in schools as mandatory reading, but I quit schools because they had mandatory reading. That's the gotcha, everybody. Congratulations, Chris Gore. Fuck schools, but my book is in schools. That's my gotcha.
Arrogant motherfuckers. They're just so annoying. Some people go scorched earth when they reply on, well, it depends. If it's a politician, I go scorched earth.
Yeah.
But a jackass like that, I'm very calm, which makes them look like a fucking idiot.
But you're crashing out over here about it. So you're admitting that you wanted to go scorched earth, but you didn't. So it's performative. So it's not real. In other words, if this person were someone else, you would have said something different. But because you want to look like the bigger person, I'm using air quotes because like look like the bigger person, you decide to censor yourself so that you don't look like the bad person because you know that what you're going to be saying is awful. That's really interesting.
Well, anyways, yeah.
I agree. Academics are a glorified piece of paper. That's really it. You can study.
Yeah.
Yes, that's required for most high-end jobs in the country. But let's keep attacking the system that educates people instead of attacking the requirements set on those education standards, like how much we have to pay to get school, good schooling, how the corporations require you to have X amount of education to get into them. Like if your issue is that the standard is a barrier of entry, then you're attacking the wrong thing. You're attacking education instead of the barrier of entry standards.
Okay, especially when it gets to the arts. Like you need to go to. It's good to train to fix a car. It's good to train to fix a human, be a doctor. But we're talking about arts degrees. They're fucking useless. They're absolutely useless. They're the most useless thing in the world. You're just regurgitating information from a guy or girl who thinks exactly like you. So you're not.
Oh, so you're explaining your channel. So that's what your channel is. Useless. You're regurgitating information for someone that thinks exactly like you, which is your audience. Let's run this back a second because you just explained your channel. This is what your channel does. And your channel is actually completely useless. But let's hear you say it again out loud. So I want everybody to understand this is what his channel is. But let's hear him say it himself.
They're fucking useless. They're absolutely useless. They're the most useless thing in the world. You're just regurgitating information from a guy or girl who thinks exactly like you. So you're not fact checking anything. You're just agree checking. You're just.
Oh, I mean, this is literally like, this is great. This should be, you should put this up in the description box for your channel. No fact checking, agree checking. I actually like that term. I think I'm going to appropriate that. Agree checking. Nerdrotic's channel is full of a bunch of people that just agree check.
Useless thing in the world. You're just regurgitating information from a guy or girl who thinks exactly like you. So you're not fact checking anything. You're just agree checking.
Right.
You're just regurgitating the same shit you would have regurgitated anyway. You just
Oh, you mean like woke and ideology and feminism and slop and MCU? Gosh, I mean, like, this is incredible. I really wish that you could hear this in your head and understand that all of this applies to you.
regurgitated like the person before. That's it. And
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and there's no practical learning in it whatsoever.
No, you're right. There's no practical learning in your channel whatsoever. I'm so glad we cleared that up.
As
And
far as like film degrees and shit. Come on.
I hated these people when I was in college. I despised them even more.
Well, you hate people that are better than you at things or do better than you at things. And this is pretty much what this entire community is. It's just a bunch of people who cannot do things as well as other people, and they resent them for that reason. They resent that they get opportunities. They resent that they have the ability to make a movie, to make a TV show, to make a comic book. They resent all of these things. And instead of understanding that this might not be the thing for them, they constantly try to make it a thing. They try to turn it into a thing. They try and materialize this fantasy in their head of what their life should be and the opportunities they should be given. And Chris Gore just said it a minute ago. He wrote a book after going to school, I guess, and not liking the idea that he was being told how to do something, but then he decided to make a book explaining how to do something. Because in fact, they don't have a problem with any of these things. They just don't like that they're not the number one pick. So it's like being sensitive about your dick size.
Now, and when I was a kid, I started Film Threat when I was like 18 years old. Okay. I don't know. I'm still doing it. It succeeded and failed several times and went through many incarnations, a zine, a magazine, an email newsletter to a website.
Stuck with it.
I never gave up, but it was always there. But I've built businesses, and you know what it's like when you're a small business owner, and we have too many people now that are takers or grifters in government, where like they don't produce anything, they don't make anything.
I mean, you don't really either. We're doing commentary. Our channels are commentary channels. Anything that you're doing now in terms of just reacting to information around you, it might be transformative because you're talking about it, but we're not really creating, like, I'm not creating Batman content. I'm not creating Supergirl content. These are not things that I'm doing. I'm talking about stuff that other people have created. Am I creative in my own way? Yes, I have an entire music business where I do all of that, but I'm under no fucking misunderstanding, internally, that I'm out here creating superhero content, right? So it's not the same thing.
I mean, you, Gary, you're a small business person. People work for you. You create value. And I like to think, obviously I pay Alan, pay our producer, Lori, who works for, like, all the people around me, they get benefit, right? You build something and make something.
So that would mean that Alan is someone that just takes from you. Pay attention to what he's saying here, right? He's saying, I want to run it back for a second. I think this is really interesting. He's saying that unless you are the boss, you're not actually creating or doing anything. That's what he's saying here. So he's speaking about co-hosts. Like, you have X-Ray Girl here who sits on cam, produces the show, but she works for Gary. So technically, by Chris's standards, she's not the one doing anything, right? So I want to run this back.
Don't make anything. I mean, you, Gary, you're a small business person. People work for you. You create value. And I like to think, obviously I pay Alan, pay our producer, Lori, who works for, like, all the people around.
But they don't create anything. These are just your workers. That's a really interesting perspective. So your co-host on your show is just a worker for you. That's very interesting.
Me, they get benefit, right? You build something and make something. These people in college now are being taught that they're owed something. Fuck you. You're not owed anything.
How do you know you dropped out? How do you know what's going on? Are you a college professor? Are you going to campuses and, like, sitting in classes to hear what they're saying? Or, like, how do you know these things? Like, this is, again, something you're saying without evidence. You don't have evidence of this.
We've lost the whole common thing, the value of work and hard work. And it isn't easy. It takes years.
Oh my God, the nerve of you guys to sit on here and act like what you're doing is the equivalent of what you would consider hard work is really out of touch. I love doing YouTube. I sit on here, I run 2 to 3 channels. I have a third channel I help a friend with. So I run like 3 channels and I do this. And although it is long and tedious sometimes, it is not the equivalent of what I would say is hard work in the same sense that like somebody doing a trade job or something like that. Like I don't see it that way. So the absolute craziness of him comparing what he does as hard work to what other people outside of the commentary space does, the influence space does, is crazy to me. It's crazy. They're not one-to-one comparisons at all.
Years.
And most of it is unpaid.
Yeah.
So much of it is unpaid. You have to pay your dues. That's pretty much it.
So the unpaid hard work isn't the problem, right? That's not the problem. Obviously, they're like, you have to pay your dues, blah, blah, blah. I would say unpaid work is a problem. If you are working for something and you're not getting paid for it, that is a problem with the system. But we're still not addressing that. That's still not the conversation that we're having here.
That's it.
It might feel tired, but it still checks out. You have to pay your dues. Your value is based on what you're willing, the amount you produce, your work ethic, and are you good to work with? That's pretty fucking important too.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in Hollywood.
Oh, guess Chrissy Mayer must not be good to work with because we still don't know what the hell's going on with her. I guess she's out, but we'll see.
Based on the fact that they're uber talented, you work with them because they're a pain in the ass, and like that's the nature of the industry. It's like they're a pain in the ass, but goddamn, that this guy makes us money. So
okay, so it's not about being good to work with then. So that standard meant like ball that up, throw it out the door, right? It's not about being good to work with. It's about do they bring in money and then we have them around. So they could be an asshole, they could be complete scum of the earth, but if they bring you money, then that's okay. I'm not saying I disagree with them, but he made 2 conflicting points.
So we're just going to deal with it to the point where a guy will be a pain in the ass and do a hundredth as much, and it's like, oh fuck this guy. You know, like it you have to balance it on your value, your work ethic, and
none of this makes any sense.
And work ethic is just as important as talent. You could be the talent. There's a lot of talented people who have shit work ethics and don't get jobs anymore.
Let me tell you the secret to work ethic. All it is be consistent.
Yeah.
You don't write a book. You write a sentence. You write a page. You write 1,000 words a day for 3 months every day, and then you have a book. You don't
pay attention. Anybody that doesn't want to go to school, he's literally acting like a professor here, explaining to you how to do something. The same thing that he says, fuck that. He's doing it here. This is great.
get fit in a day. You don't lose 50 pounds to get in shape in a day. You walk 10,000 steps, you lift weights, and you do it 3 times a week or walk every day. You can do that every day.
Start seeing.
And you guys do this? This is what you do? Or are you just telling other people to do it? I don't see you guys doing this. Like whatever it is you're saying here, you guys aren't doing this. None of y'all are doing it. You don't have time. You are terminally online. So I'm online a lot. You guys are online more than I am. So
something in 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Exactly.
You know, a little bit of a change.
It's
and then that little change, like
that's exactly right.
You're supposed to get inspired by that change. But the thing is, we like accomplishing things, but yeah, when it comes to, and listen, there's a bunch of people in Hall, and I'm sure it's frustrating to a lot of people. James Gunn, heading a studio, he is not the right guy for the job.
But I thought that it's about work ethic and paying your dues. So now it's not. Now, if you are someone that's easy to work with, you paid your dues, you have great work ethic, you're good at getting your content out. Now that doesn't matter because it's James Gunn.
It is really clear. How many good movies has he made?
Well, I think Guardians is his best, and then
so that's a great movie, and that's his only great movie. I think Guardians Volume 1 is great. That's a great movie.
It is,
but I don't think he doesn't have another great movie. And I think it's arguable, like the outside of
So this is why education in art is important. The thing that he talked shit about earlier. Art is subjective. And they don't like being told that art is subjective because their minds don't function that way. They can't think in the abstract. So subjective art, or looking at something and going, I don't think this is great, but somebody else might think it is great. That is almost impossible for them to comprehend. And even if they say they do comprehend it, it doesn't seem like they've got the memo. It doesn't seem like it's computing up here for these guys. This is why art education is important, because art education would teach you things like this. But apparently to them, it's useless.
Guardians, what? Super?
Super, I think, is very good as an indie movie.
Yeah.
It's not a mainstream movie. I wouldn't recommend that to everyone.
Was it
That's-
Slither?
It's okay. It's a good horror film. You know,
Fun schlocky horror movie.
These are
But I
good,
wouldn't call it great.
yeah, these are good little indie.
But why is great the standard? This is the kind of shit I'm talking about. Why is great the standard? So James Gunn as a filmmaker. So now it's not about hard work, paying dues, being easy to work with. Now it's that everything has to be a 10 out of 10. That's the standard. So he had one, like, to him, 10 out of 10 movie, and then a bunch of really good movies, but that's not enough. Doing really good and having a great movie isn't enough for somebody to get a great job. Now it has to be 10 out of 10. Everything has to be 10 out of 10. That's an unreasonable standard.
Movies like Cutting His Teeth, and that's what Marvel was looking for at the time. And Super is the movie that got him his job. Super, I think, is really great for the level it's at. It's a
Great.
it's a
Great.
and it's an elevated trauma movie. That's what it really is.
So that's what he is. He's a probably the best trauma director ever.
Yes, true.
And pretty much that's it. Shouldn't be heading DC Studios.
So being the best director of an entire genre of films is not enough for these guys. Not enough. Okay. I mean, there's idiocy and then there's this.
Shouldn't be directing. I don't know if he can direct anything anymore. I mean, going back to The Suicide Squad, which I liked.
It was good.
His work hasn't gotten any better. It's really repetitive, and and now that Gillespie has done a bad version of his movie, you're seeing that there will be no real distinction from his DCU at all.
Well,
And all these movies were supposed to feel different. Well, Clayface will feel different, probably.
Okay, so then your point doesn't matter. So then the point you're making doesn't matter.
because it's
Hopefully.
far removed from him, but was not developed under him. By the way, he has put Lloyd Kaufman, the head of Troma Studios, in all of his mainstream movies. He gives him a bit part. And I don't know if you notice Seth Rogen's little alien character in Supergirl, the character's name is Lloyd.
Oh. Well, as soon as I heard Seth.
Well, that explains it. That's why the movie's bad. These are important factors in why the movie failed.
Voice, that was the first instance I wanted to walk out of the theater.
Yeah, the first.
I'm like, you know what? All we need is Patton Oswalt to voice a character in this, just to make it the ninth circle of hell.
How much you want to bet that Seth Rogen ends up voicing Gorilla Grodd? He's already played
you're
a
manifesting it, dude.
he already played a monkey in the Super Mario. He played Donkey
All right, so here we are creating things to be mad about.
Kong, right?
Seth Rogen looks like a monkey. Yeah, Seth Rogen recently said, if critics worked with actors, they would think.
Oh, it's the gay voice. The thing that Chris and Alan were talking about, like why do they always have to use the gay voice when they're talking with gay people or whatever? Well, here you are sitting next to somebody doing the very thing that you guys criticized in a previous video.
Twice about how it makes them, it makes actors feel bad. Like a week after shitting on Sylvester Stallone, a guy who's done more in the last year than Seth Rogen has done in his career. Seth Rogen is
but Sylvester Stallone has also had stuff that hasn't done well. So is the standard now that you just have to like the person? Because you were saying before that it's okay to criticize James Gunn, I guess, in his job because you guys don't think his career has been good enough. But then you have Sylvester Stallone that has had hits and misses, but somehow he's above reproach. You can't criticize Sylvester Stallone.
Produced The Boys, been in a couple movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sylvester Stallone, Academy Awards, one of the greatest actors of the 80s. He's in a fucking hit TV show now, which is pretty damn good. Tulsa King. We get season, what is it, 4 finally this year?
Well, Stallone is just, I mean, I cannot wait for you to see this movie. This movie that's about
I want you guys to understand. I'm going to test their logic here a little bit with you guys. If Sylvester Stallone came out and said protect trans kids or something like that, they would flip on him immediately. Then none of this would matter. None of this would matter. All of a sudden, the running defense for him because Seth Rogen said something about him they didn't like, it wouldn't matter. They would just turn on him immediately. So this is all performance.
about the making of Rocky. Well,
We're gonna stop it here. I don't think we're gonna get much more out of this. Yeah, this is just pathetic, man. Like, it's just watching these guys talk. I haven't seen a video like this in a while where they just sit around and have these conversations or whatever. It's really just pathetic, right? They won't leave Millie Alcock alone. And then they go off on this tangent about hating school and working hard. And then they contradict themselves several times. This is just old men club at this point. That's all this is. It's just an old men's club. But we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. I think the political spectrum is going to be really interesting over the next 6 months. So we'll see what these guys end up doing and where they end up going with this. I don't see a bright future for this kind of content. I just don't.